When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in...
I went to the GP. She straight away said, you know, I want to refer you to somebody just to be safe, double check. And he saw me, felt it, straight away sent me down for a mammogram. And then it kind of all took off from there. I had to have this biopsy, which is an ordeal in itself. They found traces of the DCIS, basically clusters of precancerous cells. Obviously, as soon as they say the word cancer, it doesn't matter. So they said that they would have to do a mastectomy. We went back in my family tree, and on my father's side, every woman going back to his great-great-grandmother have all had breast or ovarian cancer.
And I will try to fix you.
Hi, I'm Anastasia, and I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I'm here to tell you that cancer didn't only just affect me, but it affected my friends and family and many other people in my life.
I scream loudly from the rooftops about my love of the Haven. Talk to me about the Haven.
The Haven's a very special place. It's where people are able to come, men and women, and just relax and be able to, the moment they're walking through the door, it feels like a different place. Everybody understands they're there because they've got breast cancer, and in many cases it enables them to share the burden and to share it with other people other than their close family and friends.
The power of love, a force from above.
Breast cancer causes over 20% of deaths among women in their 40s.
I felt a small lump in my left breast. I wasn't worried because I've never drunk in my life, I've never smoked in my life, I've breastfed my children, there's absolutely no history of cancer in our family. And we went back for the results, and as I sat there, all I could hear them say chemotherapy, oncologist, invasive, grade 3, mastectomy. Just within seconds, your world has fallen apart, and you suddenly find that you've joined this club, the cancer club, that you don't want to have any part of. I came to the Haven, and that was just like a breath of fresh air. From the second you walk in the door, you just feel this surrounded by love, and you feel that you're not alone. And so they did the lumpectomy, and I was given the lovely news that it hadn't cleared it. So I had to go for a full mastectomy. I went back in 10 days and they said that everything had been cleared, so we were ecstatic, but there was something in the lungs. They gave me the lovely news that the cancer has now spread to both my lungs, and it's so deep that they can't remove it or do anything. And I had to go back on another course of chemotherapy. And then I was told that it had grown even more, and so they were going to try and put me on a clinical trial. Unfortunately, on the waiting for the tests to find out whether I had the right type of cancer, the cancer spread to my liver, my bones, my back. The treatment they were going to put me on was targeted therapy, and it did work, and the tumours shrunk, and so we thought, oh my God, this is fun, you know, it's fantastic, there's hope now. I started to get some violent headaches and being sick, and was sent for a brain scan and found out it was everywhere in the brain.
Is there a part of you that doesn't have cancer at the moment? It sounds like...
No, I think I've got it absolutely everywhere.
This time we go sublime. Love is entwined to find. Love is danger, love is pleasure, love is pure, the only treasure.
When you walk into the Haven, you immediately feel like you are calm, like you've had a huge cuddle from somebody. It's such an amazingly warm place, and I just think it's incredible that there's somewhere out there where people can go and get free treatments and interact with other people that are in the same position as them, you know, chat to other people who are suffering, whose family are suffering. It's just an incredibly special place.
1,000 women die of breast cancer each month in the UK.
I went for a regular check for a mammogram. I was having them yearly because my mother had had breast cancer as a young lady. I hadn't felt anything. I was totally surprised when they said that there was cancer there. And of course, the first question I wanted to ask was, what's the chance of my daughter developing breast cancer? And when she answered 50%, I thought, what do I do now? How do I tell her? How do I tell her that I've got breast cancer? And how do I tell her what risk she's under? That was my first thought.
I had regular mammograms. I had my mammogram in November, which actually came back saying everything was fine. I went on to have ultrasound and a biopsy. We found out that I did have a malignant tumour. I got told I had breast cancer. The first thing, apart from fear, was guilt. I felt guilty to my parents, that I was going to put them through, my husband, and then obviously most to my children. My daughter, who is a very bright 12-year-old, and she just wanted to be on her own and started crying. And she was full of questions, you know, are you going to die? Are you going to lose your hair? Am I going to get it? And I answered her as honestly as I could.
Hello, I'm Kirsty Gallagher, and on behalf of Future Dreams, thank you so much for attending the lunch today. 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer. It's now the most common cancer in the UK. We all know somebody who's either had it or we've been affected by it directly. And we really need to keep fighting this. And thank you so much for all your support on behalf of Future Dreams and myself. Thank you.
Well, most of the research that happens here in the Breakthrough Breast Cancer Research Centre, we just simply couldn't happen if it wasn't for donations from the public and fundraising efforts. So really, without funding like that's come from Future Dreams, we simply wouldn't be able to do the work that we do. I think we have to accept it's going to be a long time before there's no breast cancer. But we meanwhile have to be understanding much more about secondary breast cancer so that we can tackle that for those unfortunate women who do develop it. About 1 in 5 breast cancers are diagnosed in women under 40, and that is very young. Just learn from the beginning to check, to be breast aware, to be breast healthy. Sadly, we have to accept that for some women they do develop secondary breast cancers, and we need much better treatments for tackling that.
What finally gets me out of bed is the hope that something will change. I mean, if I'd been diagnosed with secondaries back when I had primaries in 1999, some of the medicines and some of the therapeutic treatments that are now available to hopefully stem the tide and prolong my life weren't available. So every bit of hope I can get is magic, really. And I think that's what keeps me involved with Breakthrough, is I don't know where my hope would be otherwise.
Boobs and women, that's what goes together. And once you've had that taken away from you, oh, it's massive. It's a huge, huge void.
They have gone an awful long way, but there's so much more that needs to be done in the research of secondary breast cancer to save more lives.
There's nothing I've not gone through, there's nothing now that I've not experienced, and I hope that one day my experiences can help other people going through the journey.
What does Future Dreams mean to Breakthrough Breast Cancer?
It means a huge amount to us, not only in terms of support, but I think it's fair to say here in our laboratories, back in the office, there's a strong sense of the ambition that Future Dreams has really set us to achieve, and we want to be true to that and we want to deliver.
So please do all you can to support this amazing foundation, because you know, research is the key to the cure.
I lost my own mother very recently to this terrible disease, and so therefore I speak as somebody who's been affected directly. I cannot stress the importance of needing to raise further funds to beat this terrible disease. So, please be generous, dig deep, and then dig a little deeper. Thank you so much.
Made promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. We'll walk in fields of gold.